Hey, Trent.
Happy New Year. I think we can still say that
Happy
because it's
New Year.
early.
Happy 2026. Actually, we're done saying it now.
What? No.
Yeah, we can say it because it's a new episode, but oh my gosh.
I still feel like
Oh,
until the 15th you're good. I mean, like you got a little bit of leeway still there because I'm seeing some people still for the first time. Although to your point, like I start second guessing, I'm like, Happy New Year. That seems like a long time ago.
yeah. Do you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I haven't watched the newest ones, but I used to watch it religiously when it was on, like, because I think it stopped for a while, if I remember right. Then it came back like a couple seasons ago. Oh, I love it,
Yeah.
Larry.
Yeah,
LD.
Larry David, he says that there's a statute and it's the 7th of January.
Okay, that's a fair one. I mean,
However, I think the statute should consider this Monday started
mhm.
on the 5th.
Yep.
So you should extend it through the Friday and
Yeah.
then yeah.
So today's the
Yeah.
last day,
So
basically, is what you're saying. After today, no more.
yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
exactly.
I'll take that's fair. I think that's a very fair time frame because I mean,
Mm,
like even when I've sent emails and I'm like, "Have a good Happy New Year and I hope you had a good holiday," I'm like, "Gosh, Christmas seems like it was like a long time ago," and it
it
really
does. It feels like
wasn't.
it was forever ago, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm looking around my house and I'm just like, because we always like I used to always love keeping my Christmas decorations up for a while just because like they're up so short, ahead of time. It's like I put all this work into it, but like as I've gotten older, like now I'm just like I just want to take everything down. And also, my daughter's birthday is on February 5th, so there's a shortened window no matter what where I got to take it down so we can start prepping for that.
Yeah. It's funny when I went to the grocery store, like, I don't know, the day after Christmas or something, and they were already pulling out Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Nope,
crazy.
they're full in. I was frustrated because I went to Target the other day and I was looking because I like to because I'm super cheap at things and it's like I went to go get their clearance stuff from Christmas and they had all their Valentine's Day stuff out and their Christmas candy and stuff was only 30% off. I'm like, this is like it's the 5th now. This should at least be 50% off, guys. Come on, like, because I
Yeah.
like to get some of the snacks they have that I can put in Quinn's things because in with the candy, they'll have like graham crackers, like things that are
Yeah.
bagged and stuff, and it's like 30% off. That's not a good deal. No, I was
No.
frustrated with Target. So I put Target on blast. Boom, take that Target.
They're gonna have a little bit of dip in their sales.
Oh, their stock price is gonna take a hit now.
Yeah.
With that being said, how was your holiday time? What
It
was
was good. We went to Canada for an
yeah.
extended trip that was unplanned, to be extended that far. We got stuck in a blizzard, basically, for we were supposed to come home on the 29th, and we didn't get home until the 4th. So, basically, supposed to come home Monday, didn't come home till Sunday, the following Sunday night, and, so that was I've been saying, like actually, one of my friends put it this way, I really liked it. She said, "What's the best that could happen?" Well, the best that could happen was our situation because we were with my in-laws, and so my daughter got extra time with her Nono and Nona, and, I could be in worse places. I'm in a place where they Italian cook Italian meals, delicious. They make they have a garden, they have their own I mean, it was a blizzard, but they still somehow had fresh lettuce from the garden from, like, their greenhouse. They make their own pasta, sausage, wine, like, we could have been in a worse place. We could have been stuck in a hotel or an airport. Like, we were with people who wanted to be with us. We weren't, like, annoying, overstaying guests, and so it was honestly best case scenario for being in that situation where flights just couldn't get out of where we were at. Our flights just kept getting rescheduled and canceled and rescheduled and canceled, and eventually we actually had to buy just brand new tickets and just to try to get home. So once we got home though, we were like, again, we were gone 6 extra days, so 7 extra days. So we were like, man, something smells. And when we left originally, it was actually the day after trash day. So it was perfect. We didn't have any trash left in our house. So we were like,
Mhm.
what is that smell? It was like isolated to, unfortunately, my husband's office in the house, and there's a bathroom attached to that office. So we thought, well, maybe like it's plumbing,
Mhm.
there's like the trap in the pipes that block sewage gases that could dry up and let sewage
Mhm.
gases in. So we thought maybe it's that. So we kind of did some troubleshooting type stuff, and it really wasn't going away. So we were like, okay, we got to get somebody over here. So we had somebody come over finally yesterday. I mean, it smelled like sewage. I don't know how he worked every day. I would go in and I was
Like,
like
ugh.
I wouldn't be able to work in there. So this is like disgusting. So the maintenance guy comes over and he's like, yeah, that's like definitely a dead animal. Like I could smell that. As soon as he came in, he just knew what it was already. And so he went down into our crawl space and there was apparently like whatever screen blocks the crawl space that had been, like, ripped out, and there was a dead rabbit and a lot of, like, mice and stuff down there, and they were like, yeah, I mean, how long had that thing been just rotting
Mhm.
until we could smell it in the way that we were smelling it? Like, anyway, so when we got on our call this morning, I saw pest control pull up because they had to come do some exterminating. But yeah, so that's a nice little treat to come home to. What about you? How are you
Oh,
doing?
good. Just had a really good break. Got to spend a lot of extra time with Quinn. She didn't have any real like most of her stuff was canceled for the holidays. So we had all the nights and everything. The weekends. Set up some play dates for her during the days and whatnot, so she kind of still see some friends. But the one thing that we did a lot of at night was playing Fortnite. So for being a 6-year-old girl, she is probably one of the best 6-year-old girls that I know at Fortnite. Which quite maybe. But, we had a lot of fun playing it, like, she's gotten a lot better at it, like, she's can literally, like she can win battle royales, which is, like, win the games by herself now, when she
Wow.
plays, which is I'm like, "Oh, you're, like, getting
So
better
what do
than
you
me."
do on Fortnite?
It's like a shooter, but you're at like a third person perspective, so you can see behind the person, and you can do different game modes. But we do a lot of times the battle royale. So it's like me and her will be on a team, and we got dropped in with 50 other teams on this giant map. And you go and you collect
Okay.
stuff, and then the map slowly shrinks, and you have to just kill everyone in the map basically. But it's cartoony,
Wow.
so it's not bloody or anything. It's just
Right.
shooting people, and then you can pick up other things. And the big thing is you can get skins in there, so the way you look is different, and then you can get emotes versus dances that you can do at the end of matches or during matches. So it's been funny because a lot of those are pop culture related. So like she's before this, she never knew who Sabrina Carpenter is, but now she's a big Sabrina Carpenter fan because they had a
Oh.
Sabrina Carpenter skin and a Christmas one of her. Kim Kardashian had a skin, so she unfortunately knows who she is now.
Do you have to pay for these skins?
Oh, boy, do you, and they're
Yeah.
aggressively expensive, so we try to keep those on the on the lower end, but and then the emote dances are pretty funny because 'cause she'll do, like, the gritty one, they had a 6-7 dance,
Oh my
Sabrina
god, they're still
Carpenter
doing
ones,
that.
but it's really funny just to see her play, and then, like, the best part is she'll play with our neighbors, like, the neighbor boys down the street, because 'cause they're on switches, so they can be on a channel only for, like, them for through the switch, and so just listening to her play with the older boys is really funny, like, she's a it's just, like, the way she talks to them and, like, the way they interact is it's funny, and, like, I'll be chatting with, like, the mom, like, their mom through because they can all hear it and stuff, and so it's pretty funny, we have a good time doing that, so it was
Oh,
nice to
that's
have extra
fun.
time, and coming back on Monday was rough because it's just like, I look forward to
Well,
that time of the year, and
it was like, Christmas, I've talked about this a lot, falling on a Thursday and then New Year's falling on a Thursday. It just makes for like 2 hard weeks of, you have 3 days of work and then you have everybody taking, the eve off and then who's gonna work on that Friday? And so our offices were open Friday and New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve, so we were still trying to, like, pump orders
mhm,
out. I mean, December and November were both short working months because of
mhm,
how the holidays fell, so but, yeah, it was just Monday felt like a very Monday the Mondayest Monday ever, being the
absolutely.
first Monday of the year and coming back from a holiday, so what would you say your, like let's do peaks and valleys. What was, like, your peak of your holiday and your valley?
Say, honestly, just, like, spending more and this is, like, cliche, but it's more specific, is spending a lot of time with my family, specifically, like, my sister, because a lot of times we don't get to see them that much, even though they're only half an hour away, but we spent a lot of time with them, specifically on New Year's. We went over to their house and stayed the night there just because I don't wanna be driving with all the, amateur hours out there and everything, so, we got to spend a lot of time with her and her husband and then my nephew, and, like, my nephew and Quinn will play Fortnite, and I'll play with them. So, we had a bunch of good food that night. We made fillets, and it was just really fun to be able to spend a lot of extra time with her and see them because I don't usually get to see them that much because you have busy schedules. Half an hour away is like 10 hours sometimes when, you're in the school and you're working, you have stuff every night. So that was probably my favorite time was just like, honestly, like New Year's being able to have that extra time where it was, you're staying the night there, especially you'd be able to do whatever you want, and just kind of, unadulterated fun at that point.
Yeah, that's awesome. So then more family time. So what was your valley?
I literally terribly cliche, but honestly, it was coming back on Monday because it was just and it's not even because I was coming back to work, it's because my favorite time of the year is, like, starts at, like, the end of September, into October because I love Halloween and I just love the fall season. I love that kinda, like, the best part is then obviously it comes up to be Christmas and stuff, you're kinda able to have more time with everything, and just realizing that And now I'm back and I have to wait for that next year. And the reason it's a valley is because it's also like having a younger kid, you don't want it to come that quick because then it's another 9 months that's passed. So like now I'm back to that like battle where I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the time to come again, but I want it to be really slow until it comes because I want to savor every day I get to spend with Quinn. So
Yeah, I hear that. It was for my peaks and valleys, I would agree. I think spending more time with Frankie, I even got an extra extra week with her that was unplanned, and the valley I think for me was the rodent of it all, and how it has really stunk up things since I've gotten back.
uh,
Well, shall we get into the news? I mean, gosh, it's you
there was
know,
news.
some
Oh, I
things
didn't
have been
realize it.
changing and moving here in the industry, so like let's dive into it.
Oh, there's been so much that happened since we spoke last. So I'm just going to kind of focus on the last basically week or so, just because otherwise we'd be here for hours and people would be like,
Yeah.
oh, long. So, I mean, the year has started off with a bang, honestly. It's been a lot of acquisition. I mean, mergers and acquisitions and personnel change, especially high level ones. So, I mean, there's been a lot on that front, which has been kind of like interesting. You're coming back, you're like, all right, maybe we're going to ease in it. No, no easing into it at all. One of the first ones that kind of came out that got a lot of attention was Builders First Source (BFS). They acquired the assets of Premium Building Components. The Premium Building is located in New York, in Boston Spa, and then Queensbury. And they kind of serve people all around that area: Maine, Delaware, Buffalo, and New York, and everything like that. So that came out earlier this week. Like I think it was on Monday, actually. Came back and was just like, boom! All right, here we are.
Boom. Yeah. Well, that's nice. Those are some nice area codes, I believe, with
Yep.
some high-end lumber. So that's, hopefully they can service the area as well as what was their name?
It was Premium Building Components.
Okay, I was thinking PBC. So yes,
That would
there we
work,
go.
honestly, that's what their logo is PBC, so that works.
Okay, well, do good things, builders first source. That's all we ask. Do
Yep.
good things.
And, I mean, yeah, as we know, I mean, they're busy, they're always acquiring newer companies, so, I mean, they got this down to a T, I mean,
Yeah.
them and then, they've been a little bit quiet, but USLBM, they were going on a rampage for a while, just, kind of, just getting all these, like, smaller ones, but, they're so, I mean, yeah, they got this down, so, now on the other side of that, a company who is not, acquiring companies all the time, but made an expansion, company Adams Group, they're in Florida. I believe the legal name of the company is Adams Brothers Cabinetry, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. They acquired a company called Millrite Woodworking in Pinellas Park, Florida. They're integrating them into their new specialty wood and stone division of Adams Groups. Kind of an interesting one just because it's a more regional one, but, just to show that, even, like kind of smaller chains, they're still starting the year off, kind of getting some of these things put through. Now, with that being said, a lot of these probably had started, at the end of last year, obviously, and they may just be announcing them now, but still, there's no shortage of acquisitions happening at this point in time, regardless of it being the end of the year, beginning of this year. So, always fun to keep track of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, like I was mentioning, personnel change wise, there's been so many. I mean, we've seen across different companies. Rainer Advanced Materials announced a new CEO. There's been changes with Toll Brothers at the CEO level, a lot of retirements. But one of the ones that I like to focus on because a lot of people work with this company is Patrick Industries, not Patrick Lumber, Patrick Industries.
I go, I said, Natalie, how many emails are you going to get today of people saying, what? You're not the CFO anymore?
Like, yep. This is Patrick Industries in Indiana. Okay, Elkhart, Indiana. So the RV capital of the world.
That's
They
right.
announced the appointment of a new CFO, Matthew Filler. He is succeeding Andrew Roeder, who told them at the end of the year that he's going to be stepping away. So yeah, they're already lockstep and they're good to go at this point in time. So yeah, congratulations everyone. But that's a company, like I said, a lot of people deal with for different products, specialty products. So I thought it'd be very interesting to know because you might see some changes here and there. Who knows? So
Yes. Congrats to the new CFO at Patrick Industries, not
industries, not
lumber.
lumber industries, Indiana, Indiana.
Indiana.
One other interesting thing that came out late yesterday was the West Fraser. They announced kind of a little bit of an update, as I like to put it, about a goodwill impairment and then their operational outlook. Goodwill
Can
impairment
you
was
help me understand, explain to me like I'm 12? What is goodwill impairment?
so
Like I can't be a good person? I'm impaired?
no, it's a financial term that usually are So it can go from different depends on how they're classifying, but like how I look at it general speaking is it can be a lot of times like it's an intangible type of an asset. So you're looking at kind of things that aren't like when you have assets that are physical, that's one thing where you can be like, hey, this is depreciating over time, or goodwill and other intangible assets. They're ones that you don't really have a specific quantifiable thing. You're kind of like putting values to it that aren't easily defined, if that makes sense. It's kind of a very
So,
general.
like, if you were being, like, really optimistic about
Well,
your
that in this case,
forecast?
yeah, that in this case is kinda what it is, but, like, one easy way that you can look at kind of like, things that fall in the similar comparison of goodwill, is like, like brand names a lot of times, or like an intangible asset where, it's hard, like, how much value do you put on, this brand name compared to this other one? Those are ones where it's not a tangible number specific where we can be like 100% it's this. It's like you're assigning a value to it, based on essentially assumptions, that you're taking on that one. Whereas if you have like, a plant, you can be like, hey, this equipment is valued at this much, and we can pretty clearly assign a value to it. It's a very,
Mhm.
very generalized outlook, but I think that's kind of can help people kind of maybe understand a more high level. If we did a whole
Okay.
episode on it, then I could get a lot more deeper and make it more specific to, what they're speaking about here. But
So are they just, like, cleaning up their balance sheet basically, or
essentially, yeah. I mean, how they phrase it, they said they're expecting to record approximately 409 million non-cash impairment of goodwill as a result of the protracted down cycle that has caused management to recalibrate certain assumptions used in its annual goodwill impairment test.
Mm.
So their adjustments to assumptions include, but are not limited to, species-specific product pricing trends, lower demand, pricing for wood chip residuals, and the depth and duration of the current down cycle and its expected recovery. And it was all, like I mentioned, I believe that was all associated with the U.S. lumber operations. So in tandem with that, they also provided the operational guidance, which is I think something that a lot of people can easily, kind of grasp is SPF shipments are targeted to be 2.5 to 2.7 billion board feet. YP shipments are 2.4 to 2.7 billion board feet. North American OSB shipments are targeted to be 5.9 to 6.3 billion square feet. Then European and UK OSB shipments are targeted to be 1 to 1.25 billion square feet. And then there's some other like details there, but those are ones where I think people might be able to resonate. I wish they would have put, what they previously were thinking ahead of time, right there. That'd be something be nice to look up. But so yeah, that's what their updated guidance is for this year going forward, which obviously as we speak about regularly, as curtailments happen or, they stop, that can change at the drop of a dime, greatly.
Right. Absolutely. Ebb and flow with that market.
Absolutely. So one other thing I thought was just kind of an interesting thing, just it's not just because, sometimes things like these fly under the radar, but I think it's good to know it's because it kind of helps them clear up some marketplace confusion is um recently Palmer-Donavin acquired Diamond Hill Plywood, and then they announced at the beginning of this year, effective January 1st, that they were fully transitioning the Diamond Hill Plywood locations over to the Palmer-Donavin name. So they're no longer going to be using that, except maybe in the context of some short-term legacy, people doing that. But like when you go to their websites and things like that, fully under the Palmer-Donavin name. So
Yeah.
like I said, that can be helpful because sometimes, you'll see people still using legacy names for a while, for long
Yeah.
periods of time or brands and stuff like that. I see that a lot. So, like I said, anytime you can kind of get the word out, it can kind of help clear up any confusion that people may have.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's also very expensive to support 2 brands, and so
Yeah.
having everything brought under one makes sense. Obviously, you have to pay your, respect to the legacy brands, as you called them.
Yep.
So, well, good for them.
Exactly.
One
So,
logo,
yep.
under God, individual.
Bridge applications. When this one came out, they said that they had decreased 5.9% from 2 weeks earlier. This is for the one ending at the end of last week, which is January 2nd. Over the holidays, things are kind of wonky because they don't have them. So the numbers are kind of, eh.
Yeah, I
And
feel
this one
like
came
you'd
a little bit
expect them to
later.
go down, like, I don't see anybody applying on Christmas Day, but
But with the next one, the Freddie Mac that came out yesterday, maybe they will be now.
yeah.
Because the 30-year fixed rate mortgage is averaging at 6.16%.
Alright.
So, I mean, we're
I
getting
bet they'll go up again next week because demand is rising.
yep. But I mean, now this is the lowest we've seen them in this area. I mean, kind of they've been pretty, for lack of a better way to say it, stagnant in this low six range for quite some time now. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting. Like you said, I mean, technically they should be, doing a little bit of a upturn now, a little bit, at least like you said in the short term. But I mean, who knows? I mean, at this point, I mean, if I remember, I think there was some stuff being done by the current administration to try to, ease affordability. I'd heard. I don't know where
Yeah.
if that's just in talking stage or getting done, but
I did hear
you know,
about that too.
yeah, stuff like that comes through. I mean, then who knows? I mean, I think their goal is to try to, make the chaos that's been happening and the cost of buying your first house kind of come down and more in line with, where theoretically, I guess maybe should have been based on normal, like, because
Yeah.
we usually would go like maybe a little bit slower, but like over COVID, it was like, so I mean,
Yeah.
like we've spoken about, my house is insanely more worth more than it was when we bought it, but like by a way that doesn't make logical sense. For
Right.
me, it's good, but it's also bad if I ever wanted to move because
Right.
everything's more expensive.
Exactly. Exactly.
So we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out and then how that will affect, all the rest of the stuff. Cause I mean, obviously there's a big, effect on, you know, currently built homes as well as, new construction as well. So
Right. Well, Trent, it's great to see you again here in this new year. I have a secret I've been holding this entire episode, and I quite literally mean holding. My microphone stand fell, and I've been holding it with my left arm this entire episode, and it is about to fall off of my body because so without further ado,
let it fall.
great to see you. We'll have Natalie back next week. We miss her. She's celebrating shout out to Monica. It's her 40th birthday, one of her very
Oh, I need
best
my horn.
friends from high school. So happy 40th to Monica, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye bye.